o'clock tonight on Channel 5.
The American soldier, this year's model. In a few seconds, he'll look like all the GIs before him. But his critics claim he isn't as good.
How long have you been in?
How long have I been for?
In the Army?
Oh, since Friday.
That's 3 days?
Yes.
How you like it so far?
Oh, it's all right so far. I'm dreading basic. I know it's gonna be rough.
Why'd you come in?
Why'd I come in? Because there's no jobs. Can't find no jobs.
The American soldier as we'd like to think of him. Highly motivated, well-trained, ready to fight. He'd better be. This is Berlin, still divided, 36 years after World War II. This house-to-house training run is only a stone's throw from the enemy. An enemy who, we're told, is stronger and more dangerous than ever.
What's that balcony?
It's become an article of faith that our conventional forces are not strong enough. That the American soldier today is losing his touch. That we don't have the military muscle to defend our vital interests. The Reagan administration has asked for the largest peacetime military budget in our history. But are we throwing money at a problem before we understand it? Is next year's budget really going to improve our national security? Correspondent Ed Bradley traveled to Europe and the Middle East and across the United States to assess the strength of our conventional forces. In a moment, part 3 in our series, The Defense of the United States.
Want to play? Oh, Joan, I'd love to, but not right now.
There's no good time for a headache. But the worst time is when headache pain keeps you out of the fun. So this, too, is the season for Bayer Aspirin, 100% pure pain reliever. Bayer has relieved millions of headaches without stomach upset. Bayer Aspirin, 100% pure pain reliever, and nothing more, because nothing else is needed.
Would you like to play? Yes.
If your headache is too big for Bayer, see your doctor.
Why is our copier smarter than theirs? Compare the Savin 883 on my left with the Xerox 4000 on my right. You'll find that only one has a microprocessor and an electronic brain that can transform an unclear original into a clear copy. Only one has a fully automatic document feed, and only one has an energy-saving automatic shutoff. On all these points, one copier outsmarts the other. The Savin.
We like it here, we like it here. Oh, yes, we do, we like it here. We like it here, we like it here. Oh, yes, we do, we like it here.
The American soldier, poor, dumb, no sense of purpose.
Left.
At least that's what you hear. And if it's true, we've got a problem. Because if we need to fight a conventional war, that soldier is our most important weapon.
Seam of your trousers. Feet at a 45-degree angle. What you looking down for? You had 3 days to practice. Who eats the dead? The Reds eat the dead. Why they eat the dead? Because they like it. Ah! Go out now, a cigarette. Thank you. Put out.
Fort Jackson, South Carolina, a basic training center for the all-volunteer Army. The first thing you notice is that what's trouble for society may be good for the Army. High unemployment brings in better recruits.
You had prior military service,
Yes,
right?
I had 9 years prior military service.
In the Army?
In the Army.
When did you get out?
1965.
And you came back in 1980? At the end of 80?
Yes.
Why?
Job market, the economy. I got tired of being laid off.
What kind of work did you do as a civilian?
I was a supervisor, management.
And couldn't hold a job?
Couldn't hold a job.
Why?
Just the economy went down. Our product wasn't selling, get laid off.
From the positive side, what do you get out of the Army?
I will get a pension in 10 years. I have no retirement built up in civilian life. Being laid off every 2 years, I have nothing built up. I'm 40 years old, 41 years old. I work 20 more years till I'm 61, and I'll get less pension than I will when I get out of the Army 10 years from now.
You didn't have to crawl through this mud, though.
Yeah, I can do that on my head.
That's what you had to do today.
In 1948, Harry Truman ordered the Army to integrate. Critics warned it would destroy the Army, but it didn't. Today, therethere's a new chant for reform being heard across America. 10% of today's soldiers are women. Another attempt at integration. And again, the Army's going through a period of adjustment.
Okay, the way women talk to the drill sergeants opposed to the way the men talk to the drill sergeants or react or respond to them. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, but it's not the women. I think it's the drill sergeants, because like some of the drill sergeants, it's their first time having women, and they really don't know if they should yell at them, really push them around like they can the guys. But we get pushed around just like you guys do. Sure. You get down, we get down.
Have you had to deal with women at all?
Yep.
How you find them?
No comment.
How's it worked out? What about combat?
Between me and you. We got the Airborne Rangers take care of that. That's all I can say.
I'm going into paratroopers. I'm going to go airborne.
That's not easy duty.
No, like airborne training, you got to run 10 miles a day. And hell, maybe I can run a block. That's about it. But they get you in shape. They do it slowly.
And you think you can do it?
Oh, yeah, I know I can do it. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to do it. I'll either do it or I'll die, one of the two.
Come on! What you walking for? This ain't a walking thought.
All the way down through ages and all, the women has been protected. And I think if they was to find that you was in a frontline position, I think the man would actually try to overprotect the woman.
Nobody walks that hell! Come on, partner! Private partner, come on!
I do feel that it somewhat holds back the male soldier, and we have to bring the females up, but at graduation time you have one soldier.
You found a short 2-inch strap that is running from left to right.
Since the beginning of the all-volunteer force, the intelligence of the American serviceman has come under attack. But when we asked his superiors the obvious question, how does today's soldier compare with yesterday's draftee, we kept getting the same answer.
Having been in the military for 12 years and being around the military all my life since my father was in the service, I can say that the soldier we train today is comparable to the one that the Army trained 20 years ago. There's really no noticeable difference.
How would you compare your father with today's soldier?
My father, based on today's standard, would be a substandard soldier. Because when he came in the Army, he was not able to read. He did not have a high school diploma. He had a third-grade education. He started from scratch. The soldier today is better educated than the counterparts were many years ago.
He stayed in the Army 27 years?
Yes.
He was a good soldier?
As far as I know, he was.
He did his job well?
Yes, he retired as a master sergeant.
Say 10 years ago, for instance, they had the draft in, and you had a student that dropped out of school, and he went on the draft list. Well, he was drafted in, and a lot of them resented the draft. when they resented it and all, they just were the devil with it. We're going to get out after our 2 years. And that's exactly what happened.
And the quality of soldier you get today, better or worse than before?
Well, I think the quality of the soldier we're getting today is actually better than it was 10 years ago. Simple reason why, because we got better equipment to train them on and better facilities to train them with.
The Army is often a reflection of the outside world. Our soldiers are intelligent enough, but can't read well. The Army's been called the world's largest remedial reading class. To compensate for this, the Army has devised a method by which a trainee learns at his own pace. Their manuals are supposed to be geared to an 8th grade reading level, but to us it seemed like pretty tough stuff for an 8th grader. There is another training problem, however, that has nothing to do with the caliber of recruit.
The entire school is short instructors. Army-wide is short instructors. Simple reason why, because with my training and everything, I could go on the outside and make twice as much money as I know was doing the same job that I'm doing here.
In peacetime, that's the Army's real nemesis, the outside. It doesn't take long to realize that for all the armed services, the biggest problem is not the soldier who's coming in, but the soldier who's going out. The Army is now short 25,000 skilled NCOs. Lured in by the slogan, "It's a great place to start," they took the Army at its word and are gone. The aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy, on duty in the Mediterranean, one of 12 in our fleet. The Russians have nothing like her. Nowhere is the need for skilled manpower more critical than in the Navy. This is the all-new high-tech Navy. Sophisticated aircraft, guided missiles, high-speed computers, atomic weaponry, and complex radar. And all of it has to be maintained. Last year, the Navy insisted it had an edge over the Soviets. At budget time this year, they said the lead had been lost. They want another 150 ships, but more ships won't solve the immediate problem.
The numbers of people that are coming into the Navy are adequate to keep the bottom of the pyramid fairly well filled. The valley, the weaknesses, the shortages are in the more experienced petty officers after they complete their enlistments. I would say that we're about 70% of what I'd like to have aboard in the more skilled petty officer ratings. But the people who are here are doing double duty and making it work.
The Navy puts in a lot of time. These are the men who make it work. They're quitting in such numbers they could rechristen this ship the Bounty.
Do all of you guys have your normal complement of men, personnel, or are you shorthanded at all?
Shorthanded.
Everybody says it one's shorthanded. How bad is it?
I'm undermanned by 4 people.
Out of how many?
I'm supposed to have 12. I only have 8.
I would say that's not unusual.
Well, now, what happens when they're faced with a situation like that?
They work harder. They work longer hours. And that makes it even harder for us to keep them in the Navy. We see that every day. You see the guys in the flight deck work 12, 14 hours routinely.
A carrier deck is an unpleasant, dangerous place to work. These men do it willingly. But there are some frustrations they won't put up with. The Navy, like the other services, has been short of spare parts for 8 years and hasn't corrected the problem.
Many times our mission can't be fulfilled because we have an airplane that's maybe minus a $5 part, and that $5 part is sitting over in Norfolk, Virginia, or the Philippines. It's something that's pretty difficult for me to justify to the guys that have been working for, say, 24 hours to get an airplane up, because they know we have a pressing requirement, and they say, you know, where's our parts?
My squadron alone had 3 birds down on our hangar bay as rob birds. All 3 were being robbed to fix the other ones, and then all of a sudden they turn around and they say, well, this one's going spin tack. That means if it hasn't flown in a month or something, and it doesn't fly within the next 5 or 6 days, it's not going to fly for a while unless it gets a special inspection, you know, a lot of paperwork. And they say, okay, now rob from this bird now and put that one back together so we can fly it. We need it this time. And that's one of the main problems, people are getting tired of doing twice the work. I have 14 guys in my shop, and 3 of us know the airplane. The other ones are brand new, just got to the squadron right out of A school or FRAMP, where they get trained. And I get out in 8 days. I get sent back to the States to get processed out. I'm getting out of the Navy.
Besides underestimating the need for skilled manpower and spare parts, there was another serious miscalculation: the rising price of fuel. A carrier goes to sea with more than 3 million gallons of fuel. Fuel for steaming and fuel for flying. Landing a plane on the deck of a heaving carrier requires a very special skill and a lot of practice. The pilots say it's like a controlled crash, and a cutback in fuel means a cutback in flying time.
They cut us back. Make do with this. Guys, we can't give you enough flight time to make you proficient. Do with what we can give you. That's the problem, okay? It'd be hard for me if I went out there and splattered myself on the ramp. I'd hate to be my skipper and had to tell my mother that I splattered myself on the ramp because I hadn't been flying enough.
Our salary is based on 24 hours a day, and it comes out to, I think, about 75 cents an hour, which is well below the minimum wage per hour.
We've got guys working on our airplanes that work on multi-million-dollar computer systems that make $8,000 a year. The guy that'll do house calls on the weekend to do television service can make $20,000. That's ridiculous.
Many of the gripes you hear aboard ship would be muted in wartime, but we're at peace, and it's difficult to instill a sense of mission on a fall cruise in the Med. Today's sailor is used to a better life than he finds on board a carrier. The Kennedy stayed at sea for 8 months. These days, that's common.
They join, and I guess they think they're going to go to shore for some reason. Because you ask them when they come to the boat and they don't like the living conditions because they're so drastic to what even you're used to when you've been ashore. You know, small, there are 23, 30 people living in just one little space. The first thing they ask is, how do you get out? How do you get off the boat? You say, you're here to stay. You came to the Navy. I mean, the Navy is known, you know, you see ships in the Navy, that's what the Navy's for, right? For some reason they don't think about that.
One federal prisoner gets more living space than 6 of these sailors. As we walked into the sleeping quarters, we were greeted with, "Welcome to the ghetto." The Navy is short 22,000 men with critical skills. It's easy to see why.
One of the main reasons I'm leaving is because I just don't like the lifestyle. You know, being cooped up with 5,000 other men, you know, you can go a month sometimes without seeing a single woman except on TV.
Well, I came in for the training. I got it, so I'm leaving.
The Navy's known about its manpower shortage for years. But at budget time, the money's gone for new ships, aircraft, and technology, not spare parts and pay. The Kennedy had to borrow men to put to sea.
How do you guys react when you hear people say the military's weak now?
I see that's reality. When you're used to working with a 90-man department and you're only manned with 60, 63, 64 men, and it keeps going down, you keep losing a guy every day and nobody's coming in, pretty soon we're going to be down to nobody. And if they don't help us out, they don't bring the draft back and start drafting people. To bring our military back up to where it should be, we'll never be the power that we used to be.
All you training soldiers, all you training soldiers, hold your heads up high, hold your heads up high. The mighty second platoon, the mighty second platoon, is passing you by, is passing you by. Fort Jackson.
Ending the draft was a political idea that the armed forces had to swallow, another legacy of Vietnam. The official position still favors an all-volunteer force. What you hear at the unofficial level is something else.
How do you guys feel about the draft?
Bring it back. Smarter will help the weaker, and we'll be able to cross-section and bring up a better soldier.
When they leave, we're going to have people in our society that's going to have some type of military knowledge that if they need to come back in and help us during a time of crisis, they're going to be better prepared, and it's not going to take that much training to get them ready.
One of the tragedies of the all-volunteer force is that the middle class, the American middle class, both black and white, has virtually opted out of the military. I don't think that the United States can forever deprive itself of the energy and the talent of its largest and most productive class.
Fathers and mothers who don't want to send their sons into military service and have them march away to war are buying the surrogates, so to speak, to take their places. I don't believe you buy the kind of soldier or sailor or airman or marine whom you are asking to risk his life for the security of his country with greenbacks.
1/3 of these soldiers will leave the Army by the end of their first tour. By the 1990s, 1 out of 3 eligible males will have to enlist to keep the services at full strength.
CBS Reports will continue.
When Mrs. McKinley brought home new improved Tang instant breakfast drink, orange juice got squeezed out because the little McKinleys prefer new Tang. In fact, in a taste test, kids picked new improved Tang over the leading brand of orange juice. And Tang still has a full day supply of vitamin C in every glass.
Where's the Tang?
Here, dear.
You saved some.
It wasn't easy.
Kids agree. New improved Tang tastes so terrific it squeezes out the leading orange juice.
Real old-fashioned coffee aroma.
Old-fashioned? Mom, this is new improved mellow roast.
New? But it smells just like the coffee my mother used to make.
That's because new mellow roast has more rich aroma than before and a new full-bodied taste.
But smooth tasting like my mother's.
You like new mellow roast, huh, Mom?
New for you, dear. For me, just plain old-fashioned delicious.
New Mellow Roast coffee and grain beverage. Improved for even more old-fashioned coffee taste and aroma.
Friday night on Dallas, an extortionist threatens to blow up Ewing 23.
Do you know what it's going to cost if this field goes up? You got a big problem.
Explosive drama, Friday.
Tomorrow night, has the U.S. Navy bought a billion-dollar turkey of a warplane? We begin consideration of that question on the CBS Evening News tomorrow night.
This is CBS.
Makes me right, but I love a rainy night. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Rabbit! Okay, guys, it's Miller time. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. If you got the time, we've got the beer.
House Majority Leader Tommy Burnett says he's done nothing wrong. Details at 10 o'clock.
Take 3, this is White 01. Be advised, there were 2 shots fired. Over.
West Berlin. When the shooting stopped, another fugitive had made it over the wall.
Negative, this is actual. Over.
The Berlin Wall is still the focal point of East-West tension, still the best place to catch a glimpse of the enemy. Less well known is this barrier dividing East and West. 2 barbed wire fences, 1,000 miles long, separating East Germany and Czechoslovakia from West Germany. The ground between the fences is mined. The fences themselves are made of razor-sharp wire with remote-controlled shotgun explosives on them. They cut towns, even homes, in half. And within sight of each other for the entire 1,000 miles are watchtowers manned by politically reliable East Germans who will shoot to kill. Standing here, your first thought is that a government that could do this could do anything, even go to war. Then a question, could we stop them? The statistics say no. In battle tanks, the numbers are Warsaw Pact, 38,000. NATO 17,000. NATO has more helicopters overall, but in attack helicopters, the Warsaw Pact has us outnumbered 2-1. Men under arms, the Warsaw Pact has 1.4 million, NATO 1 million. Combat aircraft, there are 2 sets of figures. The pessimists have us down by 700, the optimists say only 220. These are unreliable estimates. The government won't release the official figures. But before you put up a white flag, remember that wars aren't won by firepower alone. And you don't measure tank against tank, but tank against tank killer. Then there's technology. In most areas, we're supposed to have the edge.
Do we have a technological advantage over the Russians in terms of equipment?
In terms of technologies associated with the land battle, tanks, armored fighting vehicles, helicopters, anti-tank weapons, the answer to that question is no.
We've got it in certain areas, without a doubt. We've got it basically with fighter aircraft. We are half a generation or a generation ahead there. We are wildly ahead in electronics.
I think technologically we still have an advantage, although that carries a price in terms of both the monetary costs and the costs in training and maintaining complex systems.
You do lean heavily on technology. That itself is not bad. What is perhaps bad is to do it at the exclusion of training. You see, the British, who don't have all that much money, if they can't solve a problem, they tend to go away and think about it and train again and then start once more. You tend to march up 2 more machines and bang away at it.
Operation Spearpoint, the centerpiece of the largest NATO maneuvers in 25 years. The men of the 82nd Airborne, the only U.S. Army unit rated ready to fight, land outside the small German town of Bloodhelm. The reputation of the American troops stationed in Europe is not very good. In NATO competitions, they almost always finish last. But the 82nd Airborne, brought over for these war games, is highly regarded. Their mission here is to secure a canal area held by the British, who are considered the best trained but worst equipped army in NATO. These exercises give NATO troops a chance to practice together, to learn each other's tactics, to estimate how they do against a real enemy. Their performance is evaluated by umpires, who end up doing less judging and more negotiating.
Total of 6.
Cadets.
Could be 6.
Were you with each scout?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We were attached to them. We had dragons.
Okay, I prefer to have no player talk now until such time as we get this done, and then we'll come back over and revert. Good. There are 9 cadets for which there's no umpire. I would only work out that they would have 4 vehicle kills over a 10-minute engagement, and I time the engagement at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Tactically.
These administrative timeouts can go on for hours while umpires add up the score, troops move into their correct positions, and the war is rearranged into neat order for what is called maximum training effectiveness.
They have the engineers coming. Do you want me to blow it or not? No. I want you to. When the engineers get here, continue with work. Do not leave this location or blow anything until I talk to you again. Meet me at this end of the bridge. Airborne, sir.
Get a grip of those f***ing crows.
They're going to come back in about 3 minutes.
Okay, sir.
And try and knock us score.
Right, I'm going to shake our blokes about, otherwise we'll be sat here with our thumbs up our ass.
Yeah. Okay.
You got second platoon on the other side.
do all this.
Get them in control. Yeah. Let me tell you where second platoon is. I want you to link up with them.
10 batteries already there.
Okay. Not the second bridge back down. We're here. Not this bridge, but this bridge. It is a trestle bridge, train bridge. It should have been rigged, because they were rigging before.
They did it before. Yeah. It's been rigged.
They started rigging, they told us to quit. You got 5 minutes to blow the bridge.
All right, 5.
Okay?
Okay.
You know what's going to happen, sir? They're going to try to cross it. Wait, one over. Well, let's go, let's go.
Prepare.
Watching this exercise, you begin to realize that statistics and scores don't tell you everything. What counts is attitude and motivation.
They want us to suck them into their trap, okay? Leap and bound, bounding on watch by teams, okay? He's gonna stay there right now until they blow the bridge. After that, we'll move out. Okay. Synchronized watches.
One section just up on the track, straddling the road. One section on the road over there, covering in depth, yeah? And one section back towards the bridge in depth.
Cover small.
Cover small! Cover small! Small! Behind you! Ever seen British Army equipment falling apart? You're watching it now.
Right, the original can was first off cancelled. Right, arcs, Sergeant.
Say again?
Arcs and
arcs. Anything that comes down the track, in fact, move forward into the bunker. Shoot over the top.
Right.
Stuff that Shimuli down inside the jacket.
What's the problem with the equipment?
It's not the best in the world, to say the least. I mean, looking at the Yanks over there, they run us around in circles with it. If we came to hand-to-hand fighting with them boys, we'd get kicked out of the window.
The Americans have better equipment than the British?
Yep. Yeah.
Give me an example. What are you talking about?
I mean, you lift this lot up. This is without your large pack that you have to carry all your monkeys and parrots in. You see if you can fight in that. So if you ran at me, would I stand a chance?
Now, what about the gear the Americans have to carry?
It's just belt order, and they carry all their heavy kit in a Bergen, which is designed to carry.
So it's about half this way?
Yeah, I would say so. Right, I've got to get that on because we're playing.
You're fighting again?
Yeah.
All right.
How many what? We've got another one on the other side of the bridge. Hello, 0, this is Kilo 3 Alpha Sitrep. Over. Yeah. See them? Right. See them, Charles, about to pass it down. Hit that lead vehicle. Stand by.
It's often said that our allies are not doing their fair share in NATO. But if we went to war tomorrow, the Europeans would provide 75% of the air forces, 80% of the naval forces, and 90% of the land forces initially committed to our forward defense.
Come on, they're all static. Down there, aren't you? Two sections! Right! Come side to side! Up here!
The British soldier stays in the same regiment for his entire career. That creates a unit esprit that can't be duplicated. Our closest equivalent is the 82nd Airborne.
How your guys do with the toes?
Damn good. We just ambushed the company.
And how'd you do?
I figure we assessed about 40 of them.
Now, let me ask you something. They're as good as they can get, you think, with the kind of practice they have?
Yes, they're the best.
So you're happy with the performance of your folks?
You damn right I am.
Okay. Carry on.
Stay down and look over the nose. See if there's any devil. Go down there. Get over downstairs. Let's go. Get down there and look for demo. Get the helmet on! All right.
He talked to the engineer.
That last bang you heard?
Right.
That was the bridge.
Okay. So it has been blown.
Right.
Where's Lieutenant Banner? Don't worry about the British guys over there around the bridge. They're all dead. All right. Okay?
For the 82nd Airborne, it's mission accomplished. But this may be their last drop in Europe. They've been reassigned to the Rapid Deployment Force for duty in the Middle East, a move that will cause European strategists some anxiety.
All the Europeans desperately want the Americans to be there to fight in their homeland. There's no doubt about that. The Americans are the people they want first and foremost. They want, as we say in the trade, to be able to lay an American across the road. They want the American to be identified with their defense.
The rebuilding of the German army, the return of Greece to the alliance, and the end of the Vietnam War has left NATO in better shape than it's been in for a while. Even the French, who are not in NATO, have been more cooperative, though what the new Mitterrand government will do is uncertain.
How do you feel, basically, General, about the shape that NATO is in?
It doesn't cause me to wake up in the night. It doesn't cause me any great comfort either. But at the moment, I think we have an adequate level of defense, barely adequate, but we have enough, it seems to me, to make it most unattractive for the Soviet Union to start a war.
At least as long as we have the conditions of today, that Western Germany means central region of NATO, where more than 6 or 7 governments have stationed their military forces. War in Central Europe is one of the most unlikely catastrophes I can imagine.
While we are spending money having million men on the Iron Curtain, the Soviets are taking over the rest of the world from where we are absent.
We started off by asking, can we stop the Russians? The better question is, where would we have to fight them? In Europe, the line between East and West hasn't moved in 26 years, and we could find no one who thought the Warsaw Pact would invade. Even so, the Reagan administration wants to pour enough money into NATO to fight a long-term conventional war, a scenario that most strategists we talked to considered the least likely.
When Minolta designed this new camera, they knew some people wouldn't like it. Why? Because the Minolta XGM isn't just a new camera. It's an exceptional camera. Automatic, so it's easy to use, with electronic features to prevent mistakes, and a unique combination of creative features, including the option of professional motor drive. The new Minolta XGM. Who wouldn't like a camera like this? The competition. Wait till you see how good you can be with a Minolta XGM.
Hey, what's this, no homecoming kiss? What's wrong, babe?
Oh, Jonathan, it's your breath.
My breath? That bad?
You need Clorettes, the breath deodorant.
The breath deodorant? Sounds strong.
Clorettes with Actazole is strong to deodorize mouth odors. It helps your mouth's own freshening power eliminate bad breath.
Terrific. Cost much?
A little more.
But for the breath deodorant, it's worth it.
Clorettes, the breath deodorant.
Before you buy any appliance, see the great value buys on hand at your participating Whirlpool dealer. He wants you to compare for quality, features, long life dependability, and price. And for a limited time, he's featuring some of the most popular Whirlpool models. Look for his special value buys tag on the biggest values in his store today and see what a value Whirlpool quality can be.
There's an old saying about travel. Run with the wind. It means travel carefree. Roam the world with ease. Now there's a traveler's check that helps keep the wind at your back, bearing the symbol recognized and respected the world over. Now, MasterCard traveler's checks. MasterCard traveler's checks.
There was a time in this country when the soldier held a place of honor, when heroes had stars on their shoulders. Not anymore. The Vietnam War changed all that. Why we lost is still a question. We owned the skies, had more men than the enemy, had overwhelming superiority in firepower, and we lost. We bombed Hanoi, mined Haiphong Harbor, invaded Laos, bombed Cambodia, and we lost. Lost, too, was our respect for the military. It was a guerrilla war, and we never adapted. A new mission, the Rapid Deployment Force, a new vital interest, the Persian Gulf, a new chance to test our adaptability. The Egyptian desert. 1,400 men assigned to the RDF came here to participate in Operation Bright Star with the Egyptian Army. The RDF's first battle has already been fought, not in the desert, but in the corridors of the Pentagon. For more than a year, the chiefs of the four services argued over its control. There's a lot at stake here. The RDF mission brings with it prestige, publicity, and money for procurement. To settle the squabbling, the Rapid Deployment Force will be made a unified command, much like NATO. Its primary responsibility is the Persian Gulf, a long way from home.
Realistically, from a cold start, you get a phone call that says go. How soon could you be ready to go?
Anywhere between 12 and 20 hours, or around 15, 18 hours.
And how many men and helicopters could you move at that point?
Oh, probably at a minimum, maybe a battalion of troops. What we have here, what we have in Egypt today at a minimum, and more depending on the Air Force aircraft availability.
It takes a lot of airlift to bring a major military force to war. We don't have it and won't have it for a long time. Our largest cargo aircraft, the C-5A, has wing stress problems that will take 6 more years to fix. This exercise cost $25 million. That's nearly $18,000 for each soldier who participated. But if you're going to fight in the desert, you'd better train in the desert. It's a type of combat we haven't experienced in a while, and it takes some getting used to for the men and their machines.
What's the effect of flying in a climate like this? You know, basically operating in the desert.
Desert environment, the sand, the hot weather, being dry, it tends to abrade helicopter rotor blades, get into the system, and cause parts failures at a more rapid rate than it normally would, say, back where we lived before at Campbell.
How would you describe the effect? How much wear and tear are we talking about?
Maybe 6 months or a year's wear within maybe 2 or 3 days on the rotor blades and tail rotor.
So it just eats it away?
Right, just eats it away.
Do you have problems with orientation because of the desert?
Well, for example, at night. Like if you look up now, you can see the blue and the white clouds overhead. At night, that's what it looks like looking down on top of the sand. So it gives you a little visual problems, visual reference problems.
If there's no texture to the surface, the depth perception is totally degraded, and it's very difficult.
You met the release point, and your birds swung around just as planned, back into the wind to land here. Except you land on this
There is strategy to be considered here. The features of the desert make for a different kind of war, and the lessons of Southeast Asia are of little value. At one point in the exercise, a group of men was lost for a day. Desert navigation is an ancient art.
Have you learned anything yet about fighting in the desert, terrain like this?
We've learned an awful lot. One of the things that we're going to have to go back to that is the principle of 360 degrees worth of protection. Of course, in a European environment, we're pretty well oriented toward the direction of avenues of approach that the enemy's going to come toward us. The avenues of approach here in the desert are 360 degrees around you.
They can come at you from any direction.
From any direction, which they did last night. The thing that we can do here that we did not do in Vietnam is we can put platoons out and cover a much broader area than we did in Vietnam. Even
because you can see better?
Because we can see better, yes.
What about the camouflage? Now, I see a number of guys have the camouflage they start to put on their face.
Well, the wind here is a little light today, but yesterday we had winds up to 20 knots. And the sand is just like sandblasting on a car or something. It just, within an hour and a half, it just takes the camouflage right off your face. The Egyptians told us yesterday they didn't think it would work, and they were right. It didn't. So there's a lot of things we're having to work with that we've never had to work with before.
What's been you guys down here, what's been the biggest problem for you out here in the desert?
Well,
running.
Running in the sand.
See where those little bushes are at?
Yeah.
That's where I want you to go.
That's where we're headed.
Okay, let's go straight out there.
I'll go ahead and get Sergeant Ballard, get the other two closest.
Tell him to stay on our radio after mine.
Yeah, over there. That's the Egyptian gasoline you got in there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
You had problems with these things out here?
No.
No?
No problem. The only problem I have is getting dust in the carburetor. Once every day they gotta clean them out, because if not, the dust is gonna build up and the Jeeps are gonna run sluggish.
As of now, our four services can't share tactical information with each other. Army computers can't communicate with Air Force computers. If they need to pass information rapidly that is accurate and secure, they can't do it.
Sierra 66 Papa, this is Sierra 84 over.
In a foreign country, ordinary communication can also be a problem.
I got German, French, everybody on the same radio. This is Sierra 84. Be advised, those enemies are coming from the south, and I can see them from out here, over. Be advised, they're also shooting at you, or is that, that's correct, they're shooting at you, over.
The Rapid Deployment Force needs friendly bases from which to operate. But unlike Western Europe, where our political alliances are strong, bases here are unlikely to remain permanent. From the idea of a small force that could go to war quickly, the Defense Department, with no opposition, has turned the RDF into another bureaucratic juggernaut. With its own headquarters and support staff, its own money for special training and weapons procurement. A lot of money, $17 billion for next year alone, when all they needed to do was send in the Marines. The Marines are made up of self-sufficient combat units, everything from airplanes to jeeps, and they train in all environments for landings in hostile territory.
In a sense, the Marines have been our rapid deployment force. The Marines traditionally have been the so-called first to fight. One of the advantages of a sea power Marine Corps-oriented force is that ships are mobile and they are large, and you can carry a lot of equipment on them. And you can have it out there when the crisis starts, rather than having to worry about flying it in or shipping it over those vast distances from the United States in the middle of a crisis.
The Marines have always had to get somewhere in a hurry. It's in their contract. So the word you hear around them most often is mobility. And this is an example of it. The Harrier vertical takeoff jet. Able to take off and land on a very short runway, the Harrier can be based on small ships and recycled into battle, much like carrier aircraft. The complaint about this plane is that it requires too much fuel, can't fly long distances, and carries too little ordnance, 3 500-pound bombs. So the Marines are developing another version of the Harrier that will fly twice as far and carry more weapons. Only one thing is missing from the Marine Corps list of RDF credentials: their experience in moving a large force inland. No more. This Marine exercise in the California desert is designed to move a force of 6,000 men inland for 70 miles. And it's all live fire. Real bullets, real bombs.
Now, these people are used to seeing mortar rounds going over their head, machine guns going over their head, and they do it every single day. These young men get a chance to hear, smell, and taste what it really feels like, and I have every confidence that if they ever got into battle, there would be no problem with it. They'd do just fine.
Colonel Wakefield has good reason to be confident. Rather than compromise recruitment standards, the Marine Corps settled for a smaller force. 75% of their recruits must be high school graduates, and they haven't relaxed their training.
They work hard. All you got to do is take care of them, and they'll do anything for you. They're just great kids. And I'll tell you, I'd stack these kids up against anybody. I think they're just fantastic. I love them.
The apparent readiness of the Marine Corps seems to be a function of attitude. No one has ever accused them of being overfunded. They have little purchasing power of their own. That's done through the Navy. They use equipment already in the inventory. And we saw tanks with the tread worn straight through to the metal. An Air Force mechanic told us that the Marines won't use a piece of equipment unless it's leaking oil and hydraulic fluid. The Marines we spoke with took that as a compliment. 5 years ago, the Marines were in danger of extinction. A bunch of headbangers who could storm a beach, prepared for the kind of war everyone thought was obsolete. But now we want small forces to fight brush fire wars. And that makes the Marines a first-rate initial strike force, rapid deployment force, if you will. With the shift in emphasis to the Persian Gulf, they ought to be back in the picture. But in spite of the Marines' unique qualifications, the only 2 units assigned to the RDF so far are both Army. The Bright Star exercise in Cairo cost 20 times as much as this one and trained only a fraction of the men. The cost of next year's RDF is more than the proposed budget cuts in education, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, student loans, transportation, and energy. It's a price we pay so that each service can get a piece of the pie. Coordinating our armed forces effectively has been a critical problem. This was never more obvious than just 14 months ago in what was our worst military disaster since Vietnam, the rescue attempt in Iran.
The Iranian rescue mission was the last and the most recent of a series of military failures this country has sustained since the Incheon landing in Korea. For the past 3 decades, we have fumbled or miscarried virtually every military venture we've undertaken. Following Incheon, there was the disaster along the Yalu River, there was the Bay of Pigs, there was Vietnam, there was the Son Tay raid, there was the Mayaguez. In my judgment, the Iranian rescue mission was a classic failure, and it is one of the few military miscarriages, the responsibility for which, the entire responsibility for which, can be laid at the doorstep of the military. The operation was never fully rehearsed. Nobody talked to anybody else. The communications gear was not made common. There were not enough forces put into the raid. The helicopters were not properly checked out. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And I think there was a command failure. There was nobody really in charge. You know, you had one man who was in charge of the assault force. The helicopters were being run by the Marine Corps. The C-130 aircraft were being run by the Air Force. And you had some guy sitting off in the Persian Gulf or some other place on a command ship who was trying to direct it from 2,000 miles away.
The men who died at Desert One were not to blame for the mission's failure. A fact-finding board was established by the Joint Chiefs, and their report showed that at every stage of the mission, secrecy was so extreme that vital information wasn't given to the rescuers, that basic rules of commando tactics weren't followed, that not only was the plan never fully rehearsed, but it was never reviewed, never checked for errors that later proved fatal. Our forces couldn't get to a spot on the map and then withdraw without disaster. After reading this report, you are left to wonder if our military leaders are capable of successfully staging even a small joint operation. The Iran raid exposed many of the problems that persist in our armed forces. There was no lack of money here, no shortage of available manpower or equipment. There was a failure to think a problem through, and a failure to effectively use what we do have. Now we're about to spend billions of dollars on NATO, even though a long-term war in Europe is unlikely, and billions more on a rapid deployment force that can't get to war quickly in meaningful numbers. Billions more on high technology, apparently without considering the manpower necessary to run it. If our goal is to once more have a truly effective fighting force, then we will need more training time for our soldiers, more spare parts to keep the weaponry we have in working order, and more pay for the skilled people who are critical to a war effort. And most of all, the military leadership to turn it all around. For CBS Reports, I'm Ed Bradley.
One more set, guys?
Nah, you guys are just too tough today.
For Michelob Light?
You should have quit while you were ahead.
Would good friends go at it this hard just for a beer? Consider its Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
I don't get it. You guys killed us.
Don't blame us. You suggested we play for a Michelob Light.
Michelob Light. Compare the taste.
Believe it or not, if 9 out of 10 of these homes burn down, there's no guarantee they'll be totally rebuilt. Because rebuilding costs are rising so fast, even inflation protection may not cover a home fully. But now, Allstate's got the brand new home replacement guarantee. Get it and get your home built back just like it was, even if rebuilding costs more than you're covered for. Ask your Allstate agent about the new home replacement guarantee. For ideas that make good sense today, you're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, what's up?
T1000.
What's a T1000?
The new penny pincher from Pontiac.
Looks great. What's it got?
It's got a lot. 4-cylinder engine, reclining front bucket seats, rack and pinion steering, 4-speed manual transmission, front disc brakes, and lots of room.
Wow. What's the price?
The price is nice. $53.58.
Wow. That is a penny pincher.
See T1000 at your Pontiac dealer now.
Polident presents Martha Ray, movie star, denture wearer.
Folks, I've used Polident for years, but now there's something that cleans my dentures even better. It's fantastic. New Extra Strength Polident. Watch it work on this tough lab stain. New Extra Strength Polident has 50% more of a special stain remover. 50% more. Gets those stains clean, even in between. So take it from a big mouth. New Polident Green gets tough stains clean with extra strength.
Part 4.
Thursday.
I'm gonna scream, Ray.
On Knots Landing, Sid's arrest leads to trial by everyone.
My husband did not try to rape her. Why'd he send his lawyer up here with money?
Now you offer them a bribe, you're off the case.
The whole thing is sick.
Nobody wins in a rape case.
Guilty! Guilty!
Is he? Find out Thursday on Knots Landing.
Hello, I'm Water Crime Guy. For the past few months, I've been out looking at this world of ours, a world in which robots are making more robots while living species face extinction, and where man is reaching far into the past to discover the future. It's quite an adventure, and it's my new assignment, the universe.
What's behind Dan Rather? The CBS News tradition, the best coverage of the big stories. The first report and the last word. When it counts, America counts on CBS News and the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
This is CBS.
It was his first news conference since late March, and he covered a lot of topics. We'll have the full story coming up next.
What's the scoop on new soft Philadelphia brand cream cheese? It's
spread ready,
smooth,
spread ready,
soft,
spread ready, whatever you want it.
New soft Philly cream cheese from Kraft. It's the cream cheese you love, only softer, right out of the fridge.
Spread ready, spread ready.
New soft Philly cream cheese.
Creamy, smooth, and ready to spread and spread. Spread ready, spread.
Say, friend, a couple of light beers.
Yes, sir. Natural light.
That's 110 calories.
Miller Light.
96 calories. We said light.
Oh, yeah. How about...
Yeah, extra light. From Pabst. Only 70 calories. Yeah, 70. So it's less filling and more refreshing.
Okay, 2 extra lights.
Extra light beer from Pabst. A refreshing change in beer.
On the energy frontier of 1907, just keeping things moving was a challenge.
So John McLean, working with a company that would become Chevron, puts ingenuity to work and creates the West's first service station. Today, to help cars run their best, independent Chevron dealers are combining ingenuity with expert know-how. Chevron recognizes this effort with the Hallmark Station Award. Service is a valued heritage. Chevron was born on the frontier, and we've never left it.
Television 5. This is Eyewitness News, weather and sports with Chris Clark, meteorologist Ron Howes, and Walt Adams.